Hello and good evening. My name is Norimo Timbun with matrix number AA200046, and I will be presenting about our introduction. Now, as you can see in this image, is it is the topic that we will be discussing about on our group work, which is the coins, Malaysian coins. Coins are, well, you can find coins almost everywhere, where civilization and nationality exist. Coins specialize in knowing the representation of the nation, language, administration, religion, and economic condition, and also the status and title of the ruler who minted those exact coins. In this slide, we will show you the parts of the coins that we will be studying. We'll use this as an example. Number one, it is called the legend. It is the main inscription or lettering on a coin. On number two, which is the fill, it is the flat portion of a coin surface without a design or inscription. Next, in number three, which is the relief of the coin, it is the part of coin's design that is raised above the surface. While on the number four, which is the mint mark, it is a small letter identifying the location of the mint where the coin was produced. While on the number five, which is the date, it is the encryption of the year that the coin was minted. Next, went on to denomination. It is the face value of a legal tender of the coin, while the engraver's initial, it is the engraver's scope, a clay model of a coin's design. And next to the number 8, it is the designer's initial, in which the designer is the artist who creates the coin design. And the number 9, it is the raised part along the edge of the size of the coin. And number 10, which is the edge, it is also known as the third side. It is the circular round of the coin that you can see from the edge of this coin. While number 11 is the motto, which is the inspirational saying of historical value and other philosophy. And finally, the wage. It is the amount of gold determined by the government itself. So that's it from me. Thank you for lending me your time.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Zaman bin Muhammad Nazruddin with number matrix AA200978. So today I will continue the presentation with material production process. So there are many metals can be used for coins production. So the such as stainless steel and nickel brass and copper nickel. So in this presentation I will talk about the production process of stainless steel. So uh, the production of stainless steel begin with melting and then removal excess carbon, casting, forming, heat treatment, descaling, cutting and finishing. The first process is melting. In this process, the raw materials such as iron ore, chromium, silicon, and nickel are melted together in an electric furnace. So this step usually takes about 8 to 12 hours of intense heat, which is the melting point for stainless steel. So throughout this stage, steel technician will regularly check the bus temperature and chemical composition. The second process is removal excess carbon. So the molten material will place into a vacuum oxygen decarbonization (VOD) or argon oxygen decarbonization (AOD) system to remove excess carbon. So depending on how much carbon is removed from the metal, This process could result in a standard or a low carbon variance of the alloy. So this process can affect the tensile strength and the hardness of the final product. Uh, in this process, there are two type of process, which is duplex process and triplet process. So for duplex process, argon oxygen ratio is adjust depending on the level of the carbon refinement in the product. However, triplet process is the additional refinement is done in VOD, which is vacuum oxygen decarbonization to achieve very low carbon clean steel without hydrogen and nitrogen. The third process is casting. For the most application, the refined steel is cast into semi-finished forms, which is blooms, billets, and slabs. So this will be used as the raw material for raw product. The fourth process is forming. So the hot rolling process will stretching out the semi-finished steel into a longer and thinner form. So hot rolling occurs above the recrystallization temperature of the steel. In this process, bloom and billets are formed into bar and wire, while slab are formed into plate, strip, and sheet. So in this forming process, we also use cold rolling when more precise dimension or a superior surface shine are required. So the process occurs below the crystallization temperature of the steel. Cold rolling uses small diameter wheel with a series of supporting wheels to create smooth white sheet of stainless steel to close tolerance. And the next process is heat treatment. So the heat treatment we use is annealing. Annealing is heat treatment in which the steel is heated and cooled under control condition to relieve internal stress and soften the metal. So this process requires careful control because even small changes from the recommended temperature, time, and cooling rate can seriously affect the properties. This process can use lower aging temperatures and higher temperature aging. So lower aging temperatures produce high strength with low fracture toughness, and high temperature aging produce lower strength but tougher material. The next process is descaling. From the previous process, which is annealing, it can cause a scale or build up to form on a steel. So the common method that we use for descaling is pickling and electrocleaning. Pickling we uses a nitric hydrofluoric acid bath to descale the steel, and however electrocleaning use an electric current and apply to the surface using cathode and phosphoric acid. The next process is cutting. Casting operation is usually necessary to obtain the desired shape and dimension. So mechanical cutting is accomplished by a variety of methods, including straight shearing, which use glutinate knife, circle shearing using a circular knife, horizontally and vertically positioned, sewing using high speed straight blades. Blanking use metal punches and die to punch out the shape by shearing. Nibbling process cutting by blanking out a series of overlapping holes. We also use flame cutting using a flame fire torch using oxygen and propane in conjunction with iron powder. Plasma jet cutting and ionized gas column in conjunction with an electric arc through a small orifice make the cut. Final process of for stainless steel production process is finishing. Surface finish is an important specification for stainless steel products, and it is critical in application where appearances is important. So a dull finish can be produced by hot rolling, annealing, and descaling. A bright finish can be obtained by first hot rolling and then cool rolling on the polished rolls. A high reflective finish is produced by rolling in combination with annealing in controlled atmosphere furnace by grinding with abrasive or by buffing a finely ground surface. A mirror a mirror finish is produced by polishing with progressively finer abrasive, followed by extensive buffing. Tumbling, which forces movement of a tumbling materials against surface of parts. Dry etching, which is sandblasting. Wet etching uses acid solution and surface dulling. So for advantage and disadvantage of stainless steel and other alternative. So the advantage of stainless steel is retained at both very high and very low temperatures. It's also strong against corrosion, rust and water stains. It is recyclable and durable. So the disadvantage of stainless steel is showed as very easily. It is expensive and difficult to use in welding. So this is the advantage and the advantage of other alternatives. So the first alternative is nickel brass, and the advantage of nickel brass is it is malleable, durable, and inexpensive. So the advantage of nickel brass is it is leaving a green trace on your finger when you touch it, and it is toxic, but it is not lethal. It can cause serious allergic reaction to human. The next alternative is copper nickel. So the advantage is it is high corrosion resistant. It has antimicrobial properties, high durability properties, high malleability properties, and it is recyclable. So the advantage is main other element, which is nickel, is a secure material. So it makes this material very expensive.
Hi, my name is Henry, and for my part, I will present the product manufacturing process. The first process is mining raw materials. The mining of raw material is the first step of this mining process. Mines in the United States and across the world produce the gold, silver, copper, and other metal necessary. Impurities in the raw metal obtained from these mines make it unsuitable for coinage. The United States Mint employs recycled metal salvaged from several sources in addition to mining ore to produce the needed metal. Coins that are no longer machinable and have been removed from circulation and are among these sources. They are then sent to the mint to be recycled into new coins. The second process is refining, melting, and casting. Some coins necessitate the use of an alloy of two or more distant metal. The refined metal is melted and the extra metals specified are added. The United States Mint, for example, creates its 5 cents coin from an alloy of 75% copper and 25% nickel. When the metal has reached the desired purity of alloy, it is cast into an ingot. These are big metal bars containing the required amount of metal from the mint. Throughout the process, the metal is tested to ensure that the correct purity is attained. The third process is rolling. The ingot is rolled between the two hardened steel rollers that get inseparably closer together. Repeated until the ingot is rolled into a metal strip of the correct thickness for the coin being created. The rolling process softens the metal and modifies its molecular structure, allowing it to be struck more easily, producing superior quality coin. The next process is blanking. Metal rollers are around 13 inches broad and weigh several thousand pounds. The roll of metal is unwound and flattened. It is then sent throughout a machine that punches out metal discs that are now the correct thickness and diameters being created. The fifth process is riddling. Until now, the manufacturing process for metal blanks has been unclean and run in a hostile atmosphere. Small particles of scrap metal may become mixed up with the coin blanks. The riddling machine removes the correctly sized blank from any extraneous substance that may have been mixed in the coin blanks. This is the next process, annealing and cleaning. The main next place to the coin blanks in an annealing furnace to soften the metal before striking. The blanks are next immersed in a chemical solution to remove any grease or debris that may have accumulated on the coin surface. During the striking process, any foreign material that becomes embedded in the coin must be discarded. So the next is upsetting. The design will be impressed on the metal coin blank. Each coin blank is run through a machine with a series of rollers that grow progressively smaller and impart a raised metal rim on both sides of the coin blank. Also ensure the coin blank has the correct diameter and will strike correctly in the coining press. The coin blank is now known as planchet. So this is the second last process, stamping and striking. The planchet are now ready for striking. Business struck coins are fed into the coining press at a pace of several hundred coins per minute. Proof coins are put into the coining press by hand and receive at least 2 strikes per coin. So this is the last process, distribution. Coins that have passed inspection are now ready to be distributed. Business issued coins are put into bulk storage bags and transported to the Federal Reserve, a reserve bank, for distribution to local bank. Collected coins are packed in specific holder and packaging before being distributed to coin collectors worldwide. Okay, that is all from me. Thank you.
So for the process refining, melting and casting process, we use the furnace machine. The control parameter that we have to take a look is the temperature, the purity and the total of the extra metal added. So the advantage for using this process is it reduces initial cost, it is safe and efficient. The disadvantage of this process is it can be so expensive to run, and it is slower heating. For the rolling process, we use the soaking pit machine. The control parameter that we have to take a look is the temperature and the thickness. So the advantage of this process is it is improved ductility and toughness, and the steel structure is compact and the mechanical properties are improved. But the disadvantage of this process is if delamination might occur, and it is possible to interlayer tearing when the weld is shrunk. For the blanking process, obviously we use the blanking machine to make it happen. The control parameter is the workpiece size, the workpiece thickness and the pressure. The advantage of this process is it is excellent dimensional control, repeatability through a production run, and excellent part flatness is retained. But for the disadvantage is it is slightly higher tooling cost, often needs secondary finishing operation to smooth out bursts along the edge. For the process, we use the riddling machine. The advantage of this process is it is fast process and it is no need to train a team. And the disadvantage is it's not so accurate and it is have to double check. For the annealing and cleaning process, we use the annealing oven. The control parameter is the temperature and time. The advantage is increase the toughness of the material, and it is reducing the brittleness of metals. The disadvantage is it takes time and a lot of cost. Upsetter fogging machine is used for this process. The control parameter is suitable diameter and the arrangement of die. The advantage is its greater strength, low cost operation, and this process does not require a special skill operator. The disadvantage is it cannot produce complex shapes. Size is limited due to size of press. For the stamping or striking process, we use the stamping machine. The control parameter is the pressure and the pattern. The advantage is lower die cost,
and high level of automation. The disadvantage is its higher cost of spaces. Producing custom metal stamping dies is a longer pre-production process, and the die can also be difficult to change if the design must be altered during production.